श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। श्रीमद् युगल सरकार की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Chapter 2, Srimad Bhagavad Mahatmyam, Glorious Remedy from the Four Kumaras. This chapter essentially crowns the Bhagavatam as the supreme scripture, explaining why it is unique even above the Vedas and Gita, and why only it can rejuvenate Bhakti, Gyan and Vairagya in Kali Yuga. Narad Ji comforted Bhakti, telling her not to worry and to remember the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, who always protects his devotees. In earlier yugas, knowledge and detachment, Gyan and Vairagya, were the main paths to liberation. But in Kali Yuga, devotion alone leads to union with the Lord. Thus, Sri Krishna created Bhakti as a beautiful maiden, assigning her the role of caring for devotees. With Mukti as her Dasi, the servitor, and Gyan and Vairagya, the knowledge and detachment, as her companions, sons. From then on, she guides devotees in Vaikunt in her personal form and on earth in her shadow form. Verse 2.9 Narad Ji reminds Bhakti Devi, Shri Narad Uvacha Mukti Jnanam Virakti Cha Sahakritva Gata Bhuvi Kritadi Dvaparastyantam Mahanandena Sanstita. Taking Mukti, Gyan and Vairagya with you, you came down to earth. From Krita Yuga down to the end of Dwapar, you stayed here with great joy. Narad Ji explained that with not many eligibles due to Kali Yuga's ills, Mukti has started decaying, hence often returns back to Vaikunt, while Gyan and Vairagya have grown weak in Kali Yuga due to neglect. Consoling Bhakti, he promised to find a remedy to restore her son's vibrancy. Verse 2.13 Single good of Kali Yuga, Shri Narad Uvacha Kalina Sadrisha Kopi Yugo Nasti Varanane Tasmin Swam Asthapayishyami Gehe Gehe Jane Jane. Translation: There is no age like Kali, O lady with a charming countenance. In this yuga I shall establish you in every house and in every individual's heart. Narad Ji vowed to spread bhakti everywhere, assuring that even sinners who take shelter in her will reach Krishna's abode. Only devotion, not austerities, rituals, or even knowledge, can bring Krishna's grace, as shown by the gopis. Hearing this, Bhakti regained strength but begged Narad Ji to awaken her sons. Narad Ji then tried reciting Gita and Upanishads into their ears, but the two remained frail and weak. A divine voice, Akashvani, then revealed that only a certain sacred act taught by accomplished sages could revive them fully. Narad Ji searched many holy places all over Bharatvarsh for guidance but found no answers. While most sages listened to Narad Ji's dilemma sympathetically, many then also told him the malady was incurable, while some kept silent and some evaded an answer, thinking that any statement could turn into transgression. There then was a tremendous uproar as people discussed among themselves, and nothing seemed to work on the two brothers. They wondered how could any human suggest a remedy to the accomplished Narad Ji himself. It was finally decided that this peculiar problem has no remedy. Narad, filled with anxiety, went to Badrikashram and resolved to practice austerity there. As he arrived, he saw the great sages Sanak and his three brothers glowing like millions of suns, and spoke to them with respect. He asked them to explain the practice hinted at by the divine voice. The Kumaras told him not to worry, as all other disciplines may grant heaven, but true liberation comes only through Gyan Yagya, the path of knowledge. This comes from reading the Srimad Bhagavatam as glorified by Shukdev Ji and other sages. They explained that just by chanting the Bhagavatam, Bhakti, Gyan and Vairagya will be rejuvenated and the evils of Kali Yuga will vanish, just as owls vanish and flee at the roar of a lion. The Kumaras further revealed to Narad Ji the glories of Bhagavat narration. In the verse 263, Kumaras speak, Kumara Uchu, Gyan Vairagya Sanjukta Bhakti Prema Rasavaha Pratigeham Pratijanam tata kridam karishyati. Translation: Then bhakti that yields the milk of love accompanied by Gyan and Vairagya will dance in every heart and in every home. Yet Narad, ever earnest, raised a sincere doubt. He asked, when even the chanting of the Vedas, Upanishads and the Bhagavad Gita could not revive Gyan and Vairagya, how then will the recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam succeed? After all, the Bhagavatam too contains stories of the Supreme Lord which are already present in the Vedas. Please resolve this doubt, for you surely have the answer, as you are the refuge of all who seek shelter. The Kumara gently smiled and replied, Yes, O Narad, the Srimad Bhagavatam indeed contains within its narratives the very essence of the Vedas. Yet it shines in a class of its own. It is the ripened fruit of the entire tree of Vedic wisdom. That is why it is revered as the supreme, most exalted scripture. In the verse 68, Kumaras spoke, Kumara Uchu, Amulagram rasastistha, naste na swadyate yatha, sabhuya sampritak bhuta, phale vishwamanoharaha. Translation: The vital sap circulating in a tree, for example, permeates it from its root to its very top. It cannot be tasted in that state. The same juice, however, when separated in the form of a fruit, captivates the mind of the whole world. To further explain, they said, just as latent ghee, though present in milk, cannot be relished until it is separated and churned out, and just as the sweetness of sugarcane is severed only when its juice is pressed, so too the bliss of the Srimad Bhagavatam, the very essence of the Vedas, is experienced in its pure, distinct form. It bestows delight upon all. The Kumaras reminded Narad that although Vedavyasji had compiled the Vedas, Upanishads, Puranas and even the Bhagavad Gita, still he was not satisfied and despondent. It was Naradji himself who had then imparted to him the 4 essential verses of the Bhagavatam, by which Vedavyasji was instantly uplifted and freed of despair. They reassured him, therefore cast aside all doubt, O noble sage. Proceed to recite the Srimad Bhagavatam to Gyan and Vairagya, for it alone has the power to dispel every trace of grief and restore their youthful vigor. Finally, Narad, having got the remedy, overwhelmed with gratitude, bowed before the sages and prayed. In the verse 75, Narad uvacha yadarshanam cha vinihantya shubhani sadya shreyastanoti bhavadukhad varditanam nihashesha sesh mukhgit kathek pana prema prakash kritaye sharanam gatosmi. Translation: Narad submitted, O great sages, who are solely engaged in drinking the story of the Srimad Bhagavatam sung with all his 1,000 mouths by Lord Shesh, the serpent god, I have sought refuge in you so that you may diffuse the light of divine love. You whose very sight eradicates all evils and brings happiness to those tormented by the wild fire of worldly sorrows. In the verse 76, Sri Narad Uvacha Bhagyodayena bahujanma samarjitan satsangam mam chalabte purusho yadavai agyana hetu krit mohamadandakaran asham vidhayahi tadodayate vivekah. Translation: When due to the rise of fortune accumulated in the course of many past lives, a man secures the fellowship of saints, only then does wisdom dawn upon him, dispersing the darkness of infatuation and pride born of ignorance. Radhe Radhe. Thus the chapter concludes, which is the chapter 2, the mitigation of the miseries of bhakti by the efforts of Sri Narad.